Hi everyone, and welcome back to the London Watch Collector channel. If you just tuned into my channel, I'm a watch collector, a watch enthusiast, basically I'm addicted to watches. And on my channel, I'll be sharing my passion for watches using 4K content. I'll be discussing and showing you brilliant timepieces ranging from Seiko to Patek Philippe. So guys, if you enjoy my reviews, please subscribe to my channel, make sure to hit the notification bell and follow me on Instagram. So guys, I thought this would be an interesting review whereby I'll be reviewing two divers watches, one from Omega and the other from Rolex. The reason for this review is that due to the long waiting lists, people started getting frustrated and the AD is unable to supply the watches for the clients. Lots of people started diverting from Rolex and moving towards brands like Omega, Panerai, etc. And it's a shame on both sides. It's a shame that people are unable to fulfill their desire when it comes to Rolex watches. And at the same time, it's a shame that Omega is kept as a second choice because Omega does amazing watches. They don't use precious metal like Rolex does, for example, for the hour hands, etc. But they definitely do impeccable watches, very reliable movements. They started the 4 years warranty before Rolex, and then Rolex took it up to 5 years warranty. In this review, I'll be comparing the ultimate diver's watch, the Deep Sea James Cameron, versus the Planet Ocean GMT. As with all my reviews, I'll be showing you everything starting with the boxes. Removing the sleeve on the Rolex. The outer box on the Omega, you're presented with a wood inner box. Removing the outer box of Rolex, you're presented with a green inner box. Both are a combination of materials such as wood, leather, suede from the inside. So just going to remove everything that comes with the Omega watch and keep it to the side. We'll do the same with the Rolex. Starting with the Omega, the operating instructions, which comes in many different languages. With the Rolex, it's in English because the watch was bought in England, and they both have similar information, how to set the watch, use the flip lock, glide lock, etc. The worldwide service, small booklet. Going back to the Omega, so you have the pictogram and international warranty, which gives you the reference number, the caliber number, and a couple of stamps at the front. The second one is your international warranty, which will have your reference number, watch number, date of purchase, and the name of the retailer that sold you the watch. On the Rolex, it's a single warranty card, again with your reference number, serial number at the front, at the back, your name, name of the retailer, and date of purchase. Opening up the boxes. On the Omega, I have a couple of accessories which I bought additionally. One is a NATO strap, which I feel matches the watch perfectly. The original bracelet it came with, because if you're not aware, I bought the watch on the bracelet and then added the rubber with the clasp. And of course, your extra links. On the Rolex, as you can see, I've removed the flip lock to give it a better feel. And then comparing both tags with the Omega, at the back we'll have your reference number, watch number, and a couple of stamps which tells you it's a GMT function, silicone balance spring, etc. On the Rolex you have two tags. One is a green seal to certify it's a superlative chronometer, and the white tag which will have your reference number as well as your serial number. If you open up the bottom of the Omega box, there's a compartment whereby you have a pouch. This card is basically to fit around your watch and then you fit it into the pouch. It's like the ones that are given by Rolex Service Center when you send your watch for a service. Presenting the watch, guys, starting with the Rolex. This is the Rolex Deep-Sea Sea Dweller Deep Blue James Cameron. I've made a full review of this watch and the graduation of the color, starting from light blue at the top all the way to black at the bottom, basically represents the ocean. The higher you are, the brighter it is, and the lower you are, the darker it is. The deep sea in that fluorescent green represents the capsule of James Cameron when he went for his solo dive back in 2012. The watch has the new movement, which is the 3235, which has 70 hours power reserve, and that was done using the chronergy and the high efficiency of the latest movements. The bezel is graduated to 60 minutes with 1 minute increments, as you can see. It's made out of ceramic, and it has the numerals on the bezel and the graduation filled with platinum using PVD coating. The full watch is made out of stainless steel, 904L to be specific, or as Rolex likes to call it, oyster steel. This is currently the only watch made by Rolex that has a date function and doesn't have a cyclope lens. And I feel it gives it a cleaner look, but the cyclops represents Rolex. If you're sitting across the room from someone, just by looking at the cyclops lens that's on his watch, you can tell immediately that it's a Rolex. The reference number of this watch is 12660. It was released in 2018 and it's a predecessor of the 11660. And I believe they made the perfect watch because they improved the bracelet, the thickness of the bracelet to be exact, the writing that's on the internal edge, the font has been changed, it's less bold, it doesn't pop in your face as much. I feel that they made it the perfect watch. Moving on to the Omega. So this is an Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean GMT. Some might say that that's the biggest problem with Omega, and that is that they release a watch and they have 10 different variants of it. What I basically mean is this used to be a simple Planet Ocean dive watch released back in 2005. That's when the first Planet Ocean was released. It was a great hit. It was 45mm in size. What Omega then started doing is lots of different models from that specific watch, and what they did was they had a Planet Ocean GMT, Planet Ocean chronograph. Personally use this watch more for work. It being on a rubber strap gives it even a sportier look. Would I change anything about this watch? Maybe the thickness. Once I show you in a bit the difference between both, this having a GMT function and only 600-meter waterproofness, it is as thick as the Deep-Sea, which has nearly 4,000-meter waterproofness. So this watch, it doesn't have the gold hour markers. They use a rhodium plated. It has anti-reflective coating both at the front and at the back. When in terms of the retail price, so the Rolex retails for £9,700. The Omega Planet Ocean, when I bought it back in 2015, it retailed for approximately £5,000. And immediately you'd think if you want to source the Planet Ocean, you can get anything between 20 to 25% off the retail price. If you want to get a Deep-Sea James Cameron, you'll be paying over the retail price. Anything again between 10 to 20%. And that's why Rolex is what it is today. Although Rolex produces more watches than Omega, there is still always a higher demand for Rolex than there is for Omega. And I believe one of the reasons are that Rolex sticks to the simplicity of the design. They don't flood the market with so many different models. For example, a chronograph. There is only one chronograph watch made by Rolex, and that's the Daytona. You can get it in steel, you can get it on an oyster flex, you can get it in full gold. It all comes down to one model. If you want to compare it to Omega, Omega comes on a chronograph on the Planet Ocean. It comes on a chronograph on the Seamaster 300. Not mentioning the Speedmaster, where you have many different variants of the Moonwatch. The Moonwatch Professional, the limited edition Moonwatch released every year, and so on. For that reason, people stick to Rolex. People love Rolex. Don't get me wrong, I love Omega and I love Rolex. But if I have to choose every single time, it will definitely be Rolex. And the reason for that is because they stick to the original DNA. If you pick up a 1950 Submariner and a 2019 Submariner, you put them next to each other, you can tell they're the same model, but obviously from different eras. But with that said, both are amazing watches. I will always have to have both in my collection. Comparing them side by side, you can immediately see that the anti-reflective coating on the sapphire crystal on the Omega makes the dial more legible to read. And the reason the Rolex does not use anti-reflective coating is because their watches are made as tool watches, reliable, having a coating, and if you scratch the sapphire crystal, it could damage the coating and it has to be recoated. As I mentioned earlier, the thickness, they're quite the same. I didn't measure them exactly, but you can tell the difference. To be fair, the Planet Ocean, if it didn't have the GMT function, it would have been a bit thinner. The clasp, the Rolex has the Oyster Lock safety clasp. The Omega has the buckle, which is brushed with the rubber strap. So the bezel on the Rolex is a unidirectional bezel because it's a diver's watch. On the standard Planet Ocean, it will be unidirectional, but this having a GMT function, it's a bi-direction. Showing off the movement of the Omega, which again has a transparent case back. The Rolex doesn't. It has a titanium case back to give it that extra light feel. The safety clasp and the way it closes on the Rolex, engineered brilliantly. And the glide lock function. Weighing both watches. So the L.W.C is 209 grams. With the extra links, it's 221. The Omega with the rubber strap is 142. With the bracelet and the links is 250. To be fair, if you remove the rubber strap as well as the clasp, it will probably be around 200 or 210. But you get the idea of the weight. And of course, guys, no review is complete without a wrist shot. I'm going to be wearing the L.W.C on my left. And the Omega on my right. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. What would you guys choose? I know that one is half the retail price of the other, but if both were retailed at the same price, what would you choose? That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.